Go ahead and get started here tonight. And I wanted to thank all of you for joining us for our information session for the MSBA-BA program, short nomenclature for Master of Science in Business Administration with a concentration in business analytics. And so we prepared a chart package for you here tonight. So I will go ahead and move on into that. And so what we're going to start out with for tonight is we're going to go through some introductions and take you through a couple of more sections talking about the program, the curriculum, application process. We're actually going to give you the opportunity to chat with a couple of our current students and ask them questions. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with team introductions. And Cliff, I'm going to go pass it over to you to get started, please.
Okay, thanks, Jay. Well, my name is Cliff Ragsdale, and I serve as academic director for the MSBA program. For the past 33 years, I've also been a professor in the BIT department, but I've recently retired from that. But I'm still doing the academic director thing for the MSBA here this year. Jennifer?
Oh, it does. I think my camera turned on me. Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Havens. I'm the director of our MSBA-BA program in the Center for Business Analytics, and I look forward to working with you, hopefully next year. And I've been with the program for about 6 months now.
All right, I'll jump in here next. Good evening, everybody. My name is Luke Williams. I'm the Associate Director of Marketing, Communications, and Events here with the center. Been here for almost 2 years now, and really love working with this program, and hope to see you all in next cohort. So,
Alrighty, thanks, Luke. Shannon Dillon, our program coordinator, couldn't be with us tonight here, but I'm Jay Winkler, the executive director of the Center for Business Analytics, and the MSBA-BA program is one of the things that we do here in the center. So I think we're going to jump right into the details about the program, and I will turn it over to Dr. Ragsdale here.
Okay, thanks, Jay. So there's this quote on this slide that we really like. The World Economic Forum recently labeled complex problem solving as the #1 skill for the 21st century. Organizations everywhere are looking for this capability in their talent above all else. And so this idea of complex problem solving, it might surprise you a little bit coming from a program, that we're a business analytics program, right? And when people think about business analytics, a lot of times you're thinking about number crunching and big data and all that sort of thing. And certainly that is a huge part of what we do. But I have this saying that, big data is a big so what if it doesn't solve a problem that somebody cares about. So our focus in this program is a little broader than strictly analytics and number crunching. I mean, you learn about all the standard analytics techniques in this program, but more importantly, you learn how that fits within this broader context of complex problem solving. So, Jay, if you can switch to the next slide. So our program is a little bit different in the sense that, we're not just creating people that are skilled in business analytics. We are aiming to create what we call high impact business analytics leaders, or highballs for short. And so what do we mean by high impact? Well, a lot of undergraduate education is really focused on being highly accurate. That is, getting the right answers to questions, right? You take exams and you've either got to pick the right multiple choice answer for a quiz or calculate the right number. And, it's certainly important to be able to do things accurately, but what's beyond that, what becomes really important is doing things that have real impact, right? Because you could spend a lot of time calculating right answers to problems that just don't matter very much. And so a big part of our program that sort of is the extension of your undergraduate experience is really getting you thinking about and focused on this issue of, okay, well, how can I make sure that the things that I'm doing really have high impact? So that's why we have this high impact phrase in our little label that describes the program. It's not there just for because we thought it sounded good. It's there very intentionally because that's a very key part of our program. So we developed these high impact business analytics leaders, and so these are folks who are skilled in analytics, but also can talk about the business side of things. And McKinsey and some other folks have also, or McKinsey and Company is one of the preeminent consulting firms on the planet. And they have a phrase that they use, analytics translators, that kind of describes what we are about as well. It's people that can understand the business world and speak the language of business, but also understand and can speak the language of analytics and sort of translate between those two worlds. So you can think of them as analytics translators or analytics project managers or engagement managers. So next slide, Jay. So the way that we do that is via this curriculum. So if you apply to and are admitted to our program, this is kind of what you'll be doing. There's 10 classes, and we start in the second half of the summer. We used to call it the summer 2 session, but starting in July, there's a class in managerial statistics that you would take. It's an entirely online class, so you don't have to be physically present here in Blacksburg to do this. But that's in the summer. And then we follow that up in the fall semester with these 4 classes: Fundamentals of Accounting, Introduction to Business Analytics, which is kind of all about sort of data wrangling, collecting data, cleaning data, getting data ready for analysis, those sorts of things. Then Applied Business Analytics, which is kind of really more the how-to class of, what are the various analytics techniques that we can apply to data sets, and how do you do that? And then there's also this organizational behavior class. And I would also point out that the accounting fundamentals and the org behavior class both are sort of tailored to our program and our students, and have a real sort of analytics and problem solving, consulting approach to problem solving flavor to them. Then over in the spring semester, there's 4 more classes: Principles of Finance. We have a data visualization class, BIT 5424. There's a marketing analytics class that talks about marketing applications for analytics. And then finally, this business analytics capstone. And you'll notice that that appears, there's kind of 2 instances of that, right? There's Management 5905, which is in the spring semester. So that's kind of Business Analytics Capstone 1, if you will. And then Business Analytics Capstone 2, that is in the first half of that final summer session. So you might call that Summer 1. That runs basically from mid to late May through the end of June. So these 2 capstone classes are really important because a key part of our program, and you'll hear more about this shortly, are the capstone projects that we do, where we partner with real companies who give us real problems that they want real solutions to. So for about 9 months, 9 of the 12 months that you're in our program, so starting like in September all the way through June, you're basically working more or less as a consultant for a real company. And so across the top of this slide, you'll notice there's these little statements in these chevrons about, define and scope the problem, decompose the problem, structure work packages, and so on. Jennifer's going to talk more about all those things and what they mean, but they're on this slide because the capstone project is a real key critical part of our curriculum. And everything else that we do in terms of the classes really are aimed at helping you to successfully navigate these capstone projects for your clients. All right, next slide, Jay. Okay, so the application process, if you are not familiar with this already, there's a online application system. It's apply2.graduateschool.vt.edu. There's links off of our website. But in any event, you apply online. There is a $75 non-refundable application fee that you pay once your application is ready and you're ready to hit enter. Then there's this fee that you must pay. We'll need transcripts, but if you're a Virginia Tech undergrad, regardless of where you're from, for the application process, you can submit unofficial transcripts. So if you can just download them from HokeySpa and create a PDF of them or something like that, you can upload that for your application. Once you're admitted, we will eventually need official transcripts. We're looking for folks with a 3.0 GPA or better. 3.0 is actually a graduate school requirement, but there is some flexibility on that. We recognize that people bring a lot of different experiences and strengths that aren't all necessarily captured within a GPA. So if your GPA is a little bit below 3.0, that's not a deal breaker for us. So we would encourage you to apply anyway. And we can, we've worked with a number of students who've been in that situation, who've done quite well in our program and are off doing pretty fabulous things in the working world now. For international students, this probably, the TOEFL or IELTS scores are required unless you have a degree from an institution where English was the primary language of instruction. So if you are an international student here at Virginia Tech, you don't have to worry about those scores. And let's see. So then we also ask you to write a short academic and professional goals essay, just sort of telling us, why you want to do this program, how is it going to fit into your career, and So and here, what we're looking to do, honestly, is sort of get a read on applicants' writing skills. So, you do want to do a good job with that, of course. We need a resume with 3 references and contact information. So you don't have to ask your references to write letters of recommendation. You just have to tell us who they are and how we can contact them if we choose to do so. And then there's a 2-minute introductory video. So, you could sit down at your computer or use the camera on your cell phone if you want to, or get a little more creative. That always is fun to see as well. But in the 2-minute video, we're just looking for you to kind of introduce yourself to us and talk a little bit about why you think you're a good fit for the program, how you found out about the program, why you want to do it, that sort of thing. And so that's all required for the kind of the online application. You submit that, we take a look at everything, and then those folks that sort of pass our initial screening, which is the majority of applicants, we then run through an interview where you do probably two interviews with some combination of myself, Jay, and Jennifer. So it's 2 separate interviews amongst the 3 of us. And yeah, then we make decisions from there. You'll notice also on this screen, GMAT and GRE scores are not required. So we do have our early action deadline approaching November 1, and we would really encourage you to get your applications in by then, and the sooner the better. Honestly, we often get sort of a flood of applications like the evening of November 1, and that makes it hard to or just the scheduling of the interviews then just becomes pretty challenging. So if you get yours in earlier, you'll kind of have first picks on our interview slots, and we'll be able to make something that's pretty convenient for you that way. So early application or early action deadline November 1. We employ a rolling admission process. So, we get applications, we interview folks, and then usually about once a month, we make decisions about, if there's folks that we want to go ahead and admit, or folks that sometimes we do employ a waiting list as well. So, I guess that's the other point to make here, is that the program is sort of capped. This year we have 48 students in the program, and we really like it to be about that size. We would do 50, but it's not just like if we get 100 qualified applicants, it's not going to be 100 students in the program. We would be very selective then. So there again, that's another reason to apply sooner rather than later. Okay, and then so the final deadline for domestic students for application is March 1, although we've admitted people after that as well. For international students, it's February 1, and that's more of a hard stop for rules and regulations associated with the graduate school and getting visas and so on. So I think that kind of is, the next slide was questions. Is that right, Jay? Yep. So we've got more coming, but we wanted to pause here to see if there was any questions about anything that we've said thus far before the rest of the presentation.
Yeah,
I had a
feel free.
quick question.
Sure.
I just wanted to confirm, you were saying that for the first fall semester, there would be 4 classes you would take, and those would be in-person classes, or would those also be online?
Yeah, thank you for clarifying, because I did point out that the first summer class is online, but all the rest of the program is residential, it's sort of present face-to-face here in Blacksburg.
Okay. And
Or
are
fall,
these
spring,
classes
summer.
going to be more in the evening, would you say, or is it kind of unknown yet?
So I guess the short answer is probably not. We like this semester we have a class at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think 9:30, and then a 3:30 and a 5 or something like that. So, but the schedules can vary from year to year, but generally speaking, they're day classes, not evening classes.
Thank you for the confirmation.
Anything else? Well, if you have anything, feel free to put it in the little chat feature. And I think, Jennifer, were you going to pick up the next part? Yep. Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to share more with you about this capstone life cycle and the project that Dr. Ragsdale spoke about. So one of the biggest draws of our program, and how it's quite unique from maybe some other business analytics programs, is our capstone project. And our time throughout the year is really focused on helping you to be complex problem solvers and these high impact business analytics leaders. So what this is in front of you is our capstone life cycle. And when we're focusing on these different pieces that you'll learn and working with a company, we consider all of the people that are in the program, the cohort, to be colleagues, because this is a bit of a simulation year for you, where you're able to work with a company and go through this. So what we do in the fall is we spend our time focusing on defining the problem further with our client. And you'll all, if you join our program, work with the company in smaller groups as consultants would. Then we start decomposing the problem. And what that means is we take kind of this broad problem statement that we might receive from our client, and we break it down into smaller pieces to better understand what's really going on. What's the problem under the problem? And we teach you how to do that. And then in the spring, we start working in how do we structure then solving the problem or bringing solutions, ideas to the clients. And through that process, you utilize everything that you're learning in all of your classes, everything from organizational behavior to accounting, finance, all of your BIT classes. And then what we come up with is you'll develop a story. Here's what the data is telling us. And based on that, here's what we might recommend to the client. And you'll then craft the story of that data. What's it saying to us? And take it to the client. You'll actually go on site and present to that client. So if you want to go to the next one, I can show you a little bit about the clients that we work with. So this year, we call them capstone sponsors, but these are our clients that we work with. And some have been with us throughout the entire program. Some are new this year. So as you can see, it's a mix of different types of industries. We've got Advanced Auto Parts. We've worked with them for many years. NASA, X Energy, they work in nuclear. Inorganic Ventures, it's a local company who work with chemicals and testing labs. Customized products. Norfolk Southern, which you may be familiar with, in transportation. Carter, which is the regional Caterpillar dealer. Valley Star Credit Union in banking. Noble Reach Foundation, very interesting organization that pairs bright minds with entrepreneurs to come up with amazing solutions. Flexmetrics works with manufacturers to improve the processes that they deploy. And Acquisition Innovation Research Center, which is AIRC, works with Department of Defense, and HP. You may have an HP printer. Go ahead and get the next one. So I mentioned in the spring and summer, so the summer 2 session, this is when we go on a bit of a roadshow. So if you join the program, you and your fellow capstone team will go to the company that you've been working with and present to, sometimes it's 5 people, sometimes it's 50 people. So it's quite a group that we work with. And so you'll go on site, you'll visit with the client, meet them in the fall, but when you present, it's to a broader audience. And this is where you get to see the fruition of your work and all of the things that you've been doing throughout the year. It's really unique. All right, we can go ahead and go to the next one. Yeah, thank you. And something that I think is really important about the program is that we like to see a variety of majors and backgrounds. It's what makes this a rich experience and makes it more like a work environment. Again, it's a bit of a simulation for the year. When you go into a company or a consulting firm, wherever you choose to go, when you graduate, and I'll talk some about that in a moment, you're going to be interacting with and working with colleagues from many different backgrounds. And so that's why we think it's important in the program. This is not limited to Pamplin or to business students. This is not limited to engineering students. We've had art majors. We have lots of psychology majors, criminology. So we want any and all majors to join the program, because even if someone is working in a field that's not necessarily a business consulting role, analytics is going to be an important part of their role. So we want people from different majors and different backgrounds. All right, to the next one. And so you might be wondering, okay, so if I do this program, who's going to hire me? What am I going to be doing? There's all kinds of different job titles we can talk about, but these are some of the companies where our really supportive alumni network work. And they come back, they visit with us. They love to talk to the current cohort and share their experiences and what they're going through in their roles. And one of the other unique pieces of it is this is a very customized program. So Jay, Dr. Ragsdale, Luke, Shannon, we all work closely with you one-on-one and as groups to be successful whenever you get to these companies, if you choose to go to one of them or to a different company. So as you're going through the process of interviewing, we're working with you on your resume, your cover letters, even your offers, so that you can ensure that you're getting the maximum amount of salary that you seek and that's available to you at that time. So we coach, we consult, we advise you throughout the year. Hopefully you see a company that you're interested in. And this might be some of the titles that that you see. Certainly a data analyst or an operations analyst, business, marketing, consulting. We're seeing also kinds of, as you can imagine with AI, lots of new titles that are coming on board. Data ethicists, so looking at the ethics of how data is being used. Certainly there's titles with AI, as you can imagine. But one thing I think is really important about this is having this MSBA-BA. For one, it's very specialized and it really gives you a leg up to consider it competition to other students that you're competing against for jobs. And we do find that our students end up having higher starting salaries. So our median is 81,000 with a 7.5 or 7.5 thousand signing bonus. And our students, they get their jobs. So it's 97.5% placement rate within 6 months of graduation, meaning pretty much everyone has a job. And if they don't, then there's usually some other things that they're working through, maybe even going on to a different program after they graduate, like med school, something like that. You're not limited to these roles at all. It's just some of the standard ones that we see. And sometimes it's with a consulting firm, sometimes it's with a company. Some of our, I think you saw it in the other slide, Carillion Clinic, it's our local regional medical center. And we've had 3 different students go and work there specifically in healthcare analytics. So it's quite the variety. All right. And I think, Jay, we have a question here in chat. If you want to answer, we want to answer that one before we go to really how it's changed lives.
Yeah, why don't I go ahead and do that, and Dr. Rizzo can jump in as well. So the question is, what level of computer programming and database management skills do we need before you enter this program? Well, one thing that we do have you do as a requirement is to take a Python certification course prior to joining the program. So when you show up here for orientation here, the second or third week of, I guess definitely the third week of August this coming year, you'll need to have that Python certification. You do not need to have any specific database management skills, but if you do, it's going to help you in the process. And a little bit of using SQL, structured query language, would be something good to know as well. But that is the extent of the requirements. So did I hit that one well, Dr. Rizzo?
Yeah, I think so. And, one of our slides mentioned, we've had computer science grads in the program, but then we've also had art history majors in the program. So there's a very wide variety of experiences coming into this. And we're really not expecting you to be expert programmers or database folks. We'll give you the skills there. But as Jay mentioned, you are expected to complete some sort of Python certification. And if you've had a Python class recently at Virginia Tech, if you took one as a freshman and haven't used it since, then you've probably forgotten it, because all of us would. So anyway, there's this Python certification requirement, but it's a pretty, a very reasonable hurdle to clear in order to get started with us.
Okay. So I think in my introduction, one thing that I failed to mention, that I've been with the program now for about 4.5 years. And so I've been fortunate, and we use this cohort number regularly. If you were applying to start with us in the next academic year, you would be cohort 9. So I was fortunate. I joined near the end of cohort 3. So I've seen the full cohorts 4, 5, 6, and 7, and we have cohort 8 right now. The other thing I didn't mention is that I myself spent like 35 years in corporate America before coming back to Virginia Tech. I graduated from Virginia Tech way back when, and so between the group of us here, we have a lot of corporate experience that benefits all of you. And I have to tell you that one of the most gratifying elements of the job that I have is this title that we have right here, Lives Changed. And for some folks, we make an enormous amount of difference. I think for all of you, we would make some level of difference in your trajectory for your career and your future growth. but some we make really profound changes. And we take just a little bit of credit for that because we have fantastic students come through this program, and we help them get to where they want to go. And we have several examples here on the page, and we're fortunate that we have students contact us, or our graduates contact us all the time. But the one on the right, and for that database and programming question, the one on the right was a music major. Actually had an undergrad and a master's in music, came through our program. And in fact, the student there you see in the red circle or red oval talked about the impact on his life. The one, I'll just go over this one very briefly, in the upper left is a student who was a marketing major in undergrad, did not go to Virginia Tech, but her family is from the Roanoke area. So she worked for a year, didn't really like what she was doing, came back to our program, and she was just down here recruiting for her company, and it's having a very, very rewarding experience. And another key element there that certainly matters a lot to some folks, and money never hurts, that she more than doubled her salary from what she started as an undergrad after she went through our program. So you work with us, as Jennifer said, that we can help you through the process. It's a very high touch program. We get to know our students, they get to know us, and we can help you achieve some really fantastic outcomes. I will move on to the next page here. One other person I want to talk about, this gentleman, Jay Ives. He's cohort 2 graduate. So he's from kind of early on in the program. But if you're familiar with Forbes magazine, each year they do their 30 under 30 in a variety of categories. And Jay was a 30 under 30 in marketing. And we have on the left side of the page over here, him talking about what he gained through this program, what he called his secret weapon, his ability to communicate and visualize data in a meaningful way. And what I highlighted here is his recommendation in the lower right, that if you're looking to ramp up your data analytics skill set and separate yourself from the competition, he highly encourages you to join our program. Now, before I move forward here, I see a couple other things that have popped up in the chat box, I believe. Okay, that's an answer here. So, okay, very good. Your Python certification. I just want to be sure we weren't missing anything. So again, that we're very, very proud of our graduates and the fact they keep in touch with us. They love to come back here and be a part of the program and promote us. When they come back for Business Horizons recruiting for their company, they're telling us to make sure that we send our students by to see them. So little picture of cohort 8 here. And this is in the new Data and Decision Sciences building where we sit. And if you haven't had the opportunity to get into this building here, it is a pretty amazing facility. So next, I would like to introduce Sarah Elizabeth and Grayson, who are 2 of our students, also happen to be our graduate assistants for the Center for Business Analytics. So we're going to go with Sarah Elizabeth first and then Grayson here, but I'm going to invite you ladies to just give a quick thumbnail sketch about yourself, and then we will open it up to see if any students on the line and have any specific questions for the 2 of you. So Sarah, go ahead and take it away, please.
Hi, I'm Sarah, obviously. I was marketing undergrad at Virginia Tech. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. I wasn't really prepared to talk about myself.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience so far in the program, and what steered you over to coming into the program?
Okay, yeah. So I've loved the program so far. I really love that the directors and everyone has really enforced the idea of a family. They truly want you to succeed, which is what I've loved the most. And I can't say that enough. Like, even the littlest things that you wouldn't think of, they're there for you. And I can appreciate that, like, so much. And what steered me most into this program was the fact that it's only a year long and the capstone project. My capstone is with Valley Star right now. And you get so much real world experience and you actually get to see, your thoughts and what you want to implement actually implemented into a real company. So, and I think that's really, really cool and exciting.
All righty, thank you, Sarah. Grayson, we'll turn it over to you.
Hi everyone, my name's Grayson. I also studied marketing management at Virginia Tech and minored into industrial design. I was attracted to this program. Initially, I was graduating in 3 years, so I was looking to extend my time here at Virginia Tech and came across the program and thought it'd be a great way to enhance my more analytical skills, since the marketing undergrad kind of focuses more on the creative and the team building and things like that, and wanted to be able to pivot myself to go into marketing analytics. I was also attracted to the program because of the capstone project. I wanted that real world experience, working on a real project, something to add to the resume, something to talk about with employers. And a few things I've loved about the program is the classes feel very applicable to stuff we'll be doing in the future. It's nice learning different ways to think and different ways to manage problems. And like Sarah said, the cohort feels like family. It's been so nice right off the bat, just having a group of people to work with, to study with, and to just do everything with, which is really nice. Thanks.
All righty, thank you, Grayson. So for the folks on the line, feel free to fire off any questions to Sarah or to Grayson, or also feel free to ask any questions of the group here. So go ahead.
Are we free to just ask out loud, or
Go ahead and jump right in. We're
Okay.
not gonna do the raise hand thing. Just jump right in.
Okay, thanks so much. So, Sarah, I did want to ask, like, how would you compare this workload to undergrad? Because I think we had a class together and we did like a group project, but I feel like in undergrad, you have the choice to have many credits. Like right now I take 21, so I know this is like less classes, so I would want to hear actually from both of you, like how you would compare the workload from undergrad to this grad program.
I think personally, like, it may feel like there's less classes, but you have so much more work to do. Like, we have a ton of stuff to do always for all of our classes because it's at a higher level, and we always have stuff to do for our capstone. And then if you have a job, I know someone mentioned if there's funding opportunities for admitted students, like they encourage everyone to have a graduate assistant position, which is, if you don't know what that is, it could pay either half of your tuition if you have a half assistant position, and if you have a full-time assistant position, it could pay your full tuition depending on your contract. So if you have that, you also have that to worry about. But like, I think it would be a lot more than what you have now, just from marketing stand wise, because I look back and think I had so much free time and now I don't have as much free time. What are your thoughts, Grayson?
I'm going to agree, but I'm gonna lessen the stress a little bit. While it is a little bit, it's a different kind of workload, I would say, than undergrad. Marketing, I feel like especially my senior year, I had a bunch of group projects. I'd work on little PowerPoints, I'd be talking about creative items, and this year it's more you're having to really think through problems and work on those group projects, but it's taking more time because you're having to really think about it. You're not just trying to get the grade, you're trying to put in the work and learn the material. So the combination of a little bit more thinking and also having part-time jobs and just a lot of different projects going on, it's about a little, you're going to need a little bit more time management, but it's definitely doable.
Thank you so much for that.
And I think, addressing that, and you hit on this a little bit about funding opportunities. There are graduate assistantships, and we call them GA for short, because it could be a GRA, a GTA, or just a GA, teaching, research, or whatever. We help to find those, but I think we need to state that there are not necessarily across university enough of those to go around for everybody to have one. But we work hard to help place you, to make you aware of opportunities, but also to make those folks who have opportunities aware of you. Okay. And then there was a question in the chat from Daniel about talking about work-life balance who started the program. And I think you kind of hit on that, but I don't know, Grayson or Sarah, if you wanted to touch on that a little bit further.
I know for me personally, it differs if you have different GA positions will have different requirements. A lot of my friends have full-time GA positions or work jobs, and they have to be in an office 20 hours a week. I have two separate GA positions, and both of mine are remote. So that flexibility is really helpful for me because I can set aside specific times for myself to work on the different items I need to do and then set aside my class time. It's just time management. And it's pretty easy to have work life and school balance this year. Sarah, do you have any more to say?
I totally agree with you on that. I will say at the beginning, I want to be very transparent. At the beginning, it was a little difficult trying to get everything together, but I think that's true for everyone. Like even in undergrad, you're learning where all of your classes are and like getting a routine down. So I don't think it's going to be very different if you do decide to do this program. I don't think it's going to be any different in that aspect. So like Grayson said, just doing time management and make sure you have your time management down.
If I could jump in for a second on that, not that I have personal experience being a student in this program, but everybody that we interview and talk to about the program, we do emphasize that, you know, you you really need to view this program as basically your full-time job for the year. Because it's like we are running a little miniature consulting firm here, because, you know, we have these real clients, and the students in this program are the consultants providing them services. So it's way different from undergraduate, especially in the sense that you know, in undergraduate, if you kind of go to class and get your grade, take care of grades, then, you know, what you do with the rest of your life is kind of up to you. And this is different in the sense that even once classes are over with, either for the day or for the semester, you know, you've still got this capstone project kind of following you around all the way until the end of June. So it's very much like you have this, you know, this job that you're doing. But, you know, the reality is that's one of the things that really makes this program valuable to you, because you know, before you actually start working, you've spent a year in this program developing a lot of the time management skills and other professional skills that are really going to help you succeed and accelerate from day one on your job.
I'll kind of add to that too. In the fall, we work so much with you on professional development and workshops to best work with each other on teams, very different from undergrad, and learning some of those skills that I personally wish that I had learned in my graduate programs and in undergrad. We want to give that to you. So you go into your first big paying jobs, first full-time jobs with a bit of a leg up. You've got more skills maybe than some of the others, and you can foster the kind of work environment that you hope to have.
I had a question. What's a few things during the application process that you wish you knew going in?
I don't know if Grayson or Sarah, you have an answer for that one.
I don't think I have an answer really, because it's kind of like how I was applying to college is what the application process reminded me of, but at a lesser extent. It wasn't so as much. I know that we had to like submit a video, I think, and I didn't realize that we had to do that. So maybe that, and there was only 2 chances that you had at doing the video, and I didn't realize. and I thought my video was horrendous because the second chance that I had was like, oh, I messed up. Let me do it again. And I didn't get to do it. So you only get 2 shots at the video. So maybe that.
One thing I might add to that, I know during the application process, I was a little bit worried I might not have the technical skills. So I was trying to pull out the little, like my old BIT classes. I was trying to pull out anything I had to talk about, but I'd focus on what makes you unique, what your strengths are, and just focus on your USP. Don't focus on trying to be a BIT major or be a data analyst. Just focus on yourself and talking about your experiences and things like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we hope you'll find that the application process is really pretty straightforward. It is, so you don't need letters of recommendation, and mostly just chug through the process and be yourself on the video. And we look forward to hopefully interviewing all of you here in the future. Any other questions for folks?
One thing I think I forgot to add in regards to the work-life balance question is that when things get busy and you might be lacking a bit at school or things like that, the nice part about this program is everyone is there to help you. So you can lean on your friends, you can lean on the faculty, you can be like, hey, I'm struggling with my accounting homework. How did you get answer A? And someone will be there to help you. So if you're struggling with your work-life balance, the cohort's there to support you. I forgot to add that.
Yeah, that's a nice aspect of our program is it is cohort based. And so all of your classes, pretty much everybody who's in the program is taking the same classes the whole year, which again is probably pretty different than your undergraduate experience. We from class to class, you just have, entirely different group of folks. So in this program, you're pretty much marching from class to class with all the same people that you've been with since, orientation at the end of the summer. So you get to know people really well. And I think a lot of students in our program have really and truly made lifelong friends with other people in the cohort. And I know they've made lifelong friends with Jay and Jennifer and I and Shannon and Luke, those of us involved on the administrative side, we really and truly care about all the students in this program. It's nice too, in that it's for Virginia Tech, right? It's a relatively small program. So you get a lot more personal attention than a lot of other programs in the university. And I'll say one last thing, so we've been giving you the big sales job because that's what we're here to do, right? But one of my sons was in the program last year. So while I am promoting and selling the program, I'm also a buyer, because I've been with the program since its inception, and I saw how effective it was at, changing the lives of so many students who've come through it. And, he had graduated from college, actually had a different master's degree, but just was not in a really highly employable area, I guess, or not, at least not compensated terribly well. So, I said, hey, come do this, and he did. He thrived in the program, did really well. He was not a programmer or a database kind of person, and, did well. Is now working in a healthcare analytics kind of role for Carillion. Made a big bump in his salary from pre-program to post-program, and I was footing the bill. I was paying the tuition, and I always say it's probably one of the best financial investments I could make in his life. So
I'm going to jump in on one thing that Grayson was talking about from the cohort perspective. And I think it was the Wednesday that we did the big reveal for the capstone projects. you all had an accounting test that afternoon. And again, if you haven't been in the Data and Decision Sciences building here, there are a bunch of team rooms that sit right across from our office suite. And a little later that afternoon, after that session, came back here, and there were at least 3 team rooms full of our students all studying together, helping each other to prepare for that accounting test. And that's when you walk past and you look at that and you say, yep, we're doing something right here, because that's a month into the program and strong bonds are already formed and everybody's helping each other out. We make a point of this collaboration over competition. We use that phrase, and that's exactly what we want, that we want everybody to achieve, and people are here to help each other out. So do we have any other questions? Okay, so there's no questions. We will, we have the registration from everybody. We will send this set of charts out to you so you have it on hand if you have anything you want to refer back to. You also have our contact info across the board here. And for most of us here, or all of us, those are our personal cell phones. So it's not our desk phone, it's our personal cell. So you can start to see the commitment that we have to all of you. So yeah, questions up. We wanted to thank you for coming. You got a few more pictures here. This is some of our graduates from cohort 7. This is our venture out team building activity we do as part of orientation in the middle there, and a team picture from our visit to NASA last June. So I'm going to offer up one more opportunity for folks to ask questions, and then see if anybody else from the CBA had anything they wanted to say. And then we'll be cognizant of your time and go ahead and wrap up. So any questions before we adjourn?
Can I just see the past slide with you guys' contact information?
Sure.
Thank you.
And you said the slides will be posted?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and mail them out to you.
Awesome.
We'll get that done tomorrow, so you'll have all that information at your fingertips. And anybody from CBA have anything they wanted to say before we adjourn?
Look forward to receiving applications from all of y'all.
And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. All righty, folks. Well, listen, have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care now.